This is a little example of something that we can do, an oil that we can use, a ritual, and you can set up. Maybe you need to massage your feet. Make sure your diffuser's set up before you begin your work hours in doTERRA. A way to really anchor into our power that you need when you are an entrepreneur, you know. And so if you are just beginning your doTERRA journey, which I think we have a few people that are here, welcome to the hero's journey. Really, this opportunity to take a very alternative path, something unique that maybe many, and if not most of the people around you in your life wouldn't necessarily dare to take. Welcome to this opportunity to also really rise above the limiting thoughts, the limiting ideas, doubts that we carry about ourselves, and to give flight to your voice, your word. So we're a voice for nature, which doesn't have a human. Well, we are the human voice of nature. Yeah, we are her voice. Yeah, and if these essential oils had feet and legs and a mouth, they would sell themselves, right? They'd be like, look, I'm really awesome. I'm an antiviral. Like, come use me, right? But they don't. So we're the voice for them. And isn't that amazing that as women, mostly, I think we're all women today, we're really being invited to liberate our voices. And it's not easy because we have a lot of trauma around that. Every single one of us does. It's generational. Maybe was within our own family. I know I've coached, mentored people that said like their mom literally told them that they're stupid, things like that, right? Maybe you had an embarrassing moment when you were in school, something like that, right? So we all get to the opportunity to do this work, our inner work, our personal development work, to really step out, shine, and change the matrix of how we're existing in this world, but also change the matrix of our lifestyle, which is really, really wonderful. And I invite you really, we're going to be today, this is our part 1. So we're going to be talking about what I think is the most difficult part of this business, which is like initiating that first connection, especially for those of us that maybe aren't usually the type to initiate conversations with people. Maybe we're used to kind of keeping more to ourselves. So I think this is some of the most difficult part. And so we're going to be going into that today. And I kind of lost my train of thought there, but let's flow into it. And let's get into the contact or into the content. So hello, Morgan. Hi. And then we're also going to be, training on today how to make that initial call. And also Dana then will be walking us through how to sample effectively. And then we're also going to role play. And role playing is something that's really, really important for us to do, is to practice how we share, because it's going to be really natural for us to have fear, have nervousness, have all the cacophony of doubt. And so when we practice things and we role play with each other, it can help really sort of get some of the languaging in our heart. And that way things, when we do feel nervous, your heart will kind of come forward and sort of shine over it. So that's what we're going to go over today. Let's do it. And also just a reminder too, in the month of December, we had this as the month of November, but also the month of December. If you attend all 3, if at some point you have already even attended all 3 of our part 1, part 2, and part 3 trainings, and we also have them recorded, you also then are going to qualify to have your fast start bonus that you earn through enrolling people is going to be increased. So the upline is going to PayPal you or Venmo you a little extra bonus as well. So, all right, so let's get into it. So here you are, right? And we're beginning our business, and we know that the simple steps are that we use our oils, and then step 2, we share our essential oils. Yeah. From there, people that have a good experience with the sample that they got, we then teach them. Yeah. And then naturally there will be a percentage of people that enroll. So we have to begin the sharing portion. Now, back in the day when we were, actually mingling with each other and going to gatherings and things like that, there'd be maybe a lot more natural sharing that would occur. You want to always have your essential oils on you and some samples on you. That's just like, you're then ready for the aches and the pains that are coming up and people say, oh, I have a headache. Hey, oh, have you considered trying peppermint for that? Here, right? But right now, because we are all in lockdown, we have to actually be a lot more assertive in connecting with people, okay? So there's two types of initial calls that we can make. One is a product approach. Another one is a business approach. And you might feel a little bit more comfortable with one or the other. And that's okay. You could actually lead with either one, but I'm going to encourage you to train in both. And then also, before we even started to make these calls, right? Step one that you should have gotten from your upline is that you've made a list, a names list, right? You've kind of brain dumped all the people that you know and they know you. And we all statistically know about 1,000 people. So it should be relatively, you should definitely be capable, use your Facebook names list or your Instagram to be able to make like 100 people, family, friends, coworkers you've had. If you have kids, like who are the kids' friends, parents, things like that. Yeah. We brain dump. Yeah. Then from there, we ranked our names list so that we honed in on the batch of people that we think would be really good fit for doTERRA. And we start with them, yeah? So starting with them is going to look like this. We're going to decide whether we want to reach out to Sally. Ooh, do we think Sally would be best with a product approach? Or is she sort of like a yoga studio owner, or she's like in a wellness practice, or she's just kind of entrepreneurial? And I think she actually would really respond well to the business approach. So you're going to get to make that decision, okay? Now, here is a very basic script that's been written that you can utilize to initiate a call and share with them these essential oils. And I love that. And you have to frame the perspective of like, for our job, we get to hook people up with beautiful essential oil samples. Like we get to give a gift. We're not calling people and saying, hey, 25% off this today, blah, 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 blah. And do you want to buy the oils, like we're not doing that. Okay. Right. We're calling someone and saying, hey, I'm giving a beautiful gift of essential oil samples to many people in my life. Would you like to be one that receives them? I'm starting a business. It's so exciting. Like that's pretty awesome. Right. So notice the narrative of your mind or the story that you're creating, around, being a salesperson or whatever. And take ownership of your mindset. Yeah. Get into a healthy, grounded mindset. Use your oils. Yeah. We're offering a gift and we're unattached. We're unattached to the results of whether this person ends up wanting to buy them or not. We're just making sure we're fulfilling our duty of like being the messenger of like, this is an option for you, so that instead of having to, and I just got a text the other day from a woman. She was like, she had just bought a kit, and I'm actually doing a wellness consult with her this afternoon. And her daughter had a 24-hour stomach flu or whatever. She was throwing up and she's like, what should I do? I told her a few things and she's like, oh, this is so awesome. I usually, my husband would be at the store buying Pedialyte and some anti-nausea medication, but now she's got peppermint digestion. It's like, so this is what we get to give people. So we have to get in them that framework, that mindset. Okay. So here's a little script example. Reach out to them through, and maybe you're so familiar with you're so connected with them, you could just call them right off the bat and you don't have to give them like a text message heads up. But here's an example. It can be text message, Facebook Messenger, maybe it's an email to them, whatever works best. Something like, hey, do you have a couple minutes? Do you have 5 minutes? I have a quick question for you. So what we're not encouraging, what we're encouraging you not to do is to write them. And this is something we do when we're nervous of getting intimate and on a phone with them, is we'll like write them a huge email of like, I just got started with doTERRA, blah, 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 blah. And it's like 5 paragraphs long. I know so many people who have done that and it usually does not work. It's too much, right? And it's not intimate. It's not really that confident either. Yeah. So our recommendation is just like, it's casual, it's light. Hey, do you have a couple minutes? I have a quick question for you. Because legitimately, if they say yes, I want a sample, we're going to ask them about their health needs. It's like, why go back and forth a million times when it's just like a quick question that you can ask them on the phone, right? And so also, if you haven't talked to them, so this may happen where you haven't connected with this person for like maybe a year or 2 years. Maybe you had a really close bond with them though, so it feels comfortable to initiate this. So it could be, add to this, hey, do you have 5 minutes? Like, hey, thinking about you, it's been forever. Like, I've been a horrible friend. I really want to, I actually have something that I want to ask you. I have a quick question for you, but I also want to catch up and see what's going on in your life, something like that. All right. So then you get on the phone with them. Hey, so I have a specific question for you, of course, but first, how are you? How's your day going? How's your week going? Again, if you haven't talked to them in a year or 2 years or something like that, all right, so I totally have something that I've thought of you and I wanted to ask you, but first, catch me up on your life. Like, how's it going? And now one thing I will say about catching up with people is, especially if you guys have like kids and you're kind of like, you don't have that much time, you can lead the conversation so it doesn't end up being an hour, 2 hour long conversation. If you have a little bit more time, you can give them 45 minutes and really catch up. And maybe you don't even get to the doTERRA portion, like you're just catching up. That's okay too, but you can also, I remember one person saying, oh my gosh, I was just on a 1,000,000-hour-long convos. Like they just kept going and it was so fun. It's actually a beautiful side benefit of doing doTERRA as a business is you're going to reconnect with a lot of souls that you love and that you maybe just haven't time to connect with them. All right, so catch up, right? And what's great also about catching up and them sharing with you what's going on in their life, you're also going to be hearing about probably their health or their financial situation, or you'll find out that, for example, if you were going to do the business approach, maybe you're going to find out that they just launched a business and maybe it's really not a good time because it's a totally different sphere of work, or maybe it's a wellness job, a wellness business. And actually this will be really great, so you'll find out things that you're going to be able to then talk to them about doTERRA in a way that's really integral. Okay, then you'll go into your share. Okay, so something like this. It doesn't need to be word for word. And I recommend you can write something out that feels really good to you. Okay, so I've had a passion for wellness. And recently I've been falling in love with essential oils. I've been using doTERRA oils. Have you heard of them? I think it's great to ask if they've heard of them. And then you can also share a personal testimony. Yeah, like I've been using it on my baby's, diaper rash and it's been awesome. It's been healing so much, or I've been using whatever story you have, it doesn't need to be that you were unable to walk and now you can walk again. It doesn't need to be, I've just been replacing a lot of my self-care with these and it's just been a really beautiful way. And if you're brand new and you just got your oils, I'm thinking about Madison, like you just got your oils, like take some time to use your oils, in these next few weeks before even making some calls, really, really experience them. If they've never heard of doTERRA before, make sure to share like they are the highest quality essential oil in the world. They're like a medical grade, really safe to use as an alternative to pharmaceuticals even. Ethically sourced, whatever you want to share, but simple, short and sweet. We tend to ramble. I tend to ramble myself. You may have noticed. So short and sweet. Now you switch into, so I've decided to partner with some of the top leaders in the company to begin sharing these oils with my community because people are in need of natural alternatives right now, more than ever right now, right? So we're sending out a batch of samples and I thought of you. I thought you might want one because I remember, maybe you haven't spoken to them in a while. I remember you were struggling with some digestive issues. Maybe something could help. Or I know that you've always been into natural things. Whatever reason they're on your list of people that they ended up getting into that, group of people that you thought would be a great fit for receiving a sample, right? And you simply ask, would you like to receive one? And they will say yes or no. Most of the time they're going to say yes. At this point, you're not going to get a ton of rejection. You might get somebody that, maybe they already have a doTERRA account, or Maybe they're already committed to using some other product. You might get that one person that like had some trauma with someone else that did doTERRA and what they didn't like that person. So they're like, nah, I don't like doTERRA because maybe they have some association or whatever, right? So, but most of the time you're going to get, yes, I would love one. And now you're going to ask for one of their specific health needs. So tell me about your health needs. And you can actually prompt it. Like, are you struggling with pain or digestion, sleep, or stress? Those are 4 of the top, and you might want to write this down: pain, digestion, sleep, or stress. Those are 4 key areas that you can really help somebody, because sometimes some people don't remember what they're struggling with in their health. They're like, I'm fine. And then they're like, oh, wait, actually, I'm not sleeping, because they're just in survival mode, So ask them what their health needs, and then tell them, okay, I'm going to send you samples specifically for your pain. I'm going to be sending you some peppermint, this amazing icy hot alternative called Deep Blue, and, some Copaiba or whatever. Okay, so this is the product approach. Questions about this? Who's made a product approach call? Tell me about it. Unmute. Or any questions? Ella, do you want to share?
Yeah. Well, I feel like the product approach is something that I've been more comfortable with, leading with. So yeah, I just been getting in touch with a lot of my friends. Sorry, I'm in the car, so it's a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
And I've been sending out them samples, and I've been getting some great feedback on individuals who would dive right in and start using them. And then also noticed others who are still a little bit shy about using the oils, even after I send them the samples and they've attended our class. So, but I've loved the product approach because it's just sharing an extension of who I am and what I'm into.
Totally.
And it's not very pushy. Like, let's get into business together, even though
Yep.
we have to find some business partners.
Yes. And how many people would you say you've reached out to and made this type of call to?
So far I would say at least 10, but
10.
I'm just starting out. Well, but
totally. Yeah, no, you're just launching. And out of those 10, did anybody say no, that they didn't want any?
One person who is a really dear friend, she was like, oh, don't waste your samples on me. Like, I know the oils, like next time I need my lavender oil, I'll order it from you.
Okay. Yeah.
Kind of like that.
Okay.
But everyone else said like, yeah, send me samples.
Exactly. So it works. It works.
Yeah.
It works, my friends. Wow. So she got not even one real no. Her no was like, I'll just buy from you. Don't worry. Yeah. So that's pretty amazing. But thank you for sharing, Ella.
Sure.
And we'll talk about the sample follow-up, which could be, helpful. But you may get some no's, or you might get someone like, no, doTERRA is a pyramid scheme. I mean, you might get that at some point, and don't be afraid of it. And don't like water rolling off a duck's back is what we're going to learn. Like, to be really, that's part of the hero's journey. It's like, oh no, stand in your truth, even if you do get that someday. But most of the time, yeah, you're just going to get, totally, hook me up. So that's great. Thanks for sharing. All right.
Anissa, I have a quick question, because I don't want to derail this conversation, but is there a class on something like that? Like having difficult conversations when you are faced with things like that? Because I'm not really equipped with any feedback. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm sorry you think that way, but totally. I would love, if there is ever a session on that would be super helpful.
No, it is good. Well, let's touch on it right now. And then we're actually, Dana and I, and actually Elena Brower as well, we've been working on a video that you can use, and there will be a lot of languaging in there that you can pull from and share. But yeah, let's keep the conversation alive. We're not only are we educating on essential oils, but we are actually also educators on a whole new paradigm of economy when it comes to our network marketing model. In the 70s and in the 80s, there were actual scams. They were illegal businesses, or there were people that would just be throwing money into nothing. Like, there was no product actually. And so that has then created a stigma around network marketing in general. Yeah. But it's this is a new paradigm. And also you can actually look at the legitimate network marketing companies, even like Melaleuca or Nu Skin or Mary Kay. And it is the one type of, these are some of or network marketing is the one business, and this is a statistic I've heard, that has created the most millionaire women that exist. In fact, it's the only corporate model where women are earning more than men. So we are educating on this as well. A couple key notes, and maybe Dana, you want to chime in here too. I would say just say no. It's not a pyramid scheme. It's a legal business. It's absolutely legal. For example, when you sell a product, you actually are going to earn a commission. Like it exists. And any of you that have enrolled and gotten a commission check, we can all verify that. Yeah. And also the product is really legitimate. We're not, there's scam companies that are selling products that don't work, right? Or are really bad products. Like our products are really, really, really good. Amazing. So the product is good. The compensation plan also works. If they say, because there's also clickbait articles that attack doTERRA or network marketing in general, and they'll say, but only 10% or 20% are actually making any money in it. Most people don't ever make anything. Yeah. That's because most people don't want to. They're just being customers. 80% of our doTERRA company accounts are just customers. So whenever you see those statistics, they love to throw those statistics out. So just know that that's because 80% never even wanted to. Okay. And then about 10 to 20% of us pursue it. Like any industry, there's always going to be the percentile that go for it, that work at it. I mean, this is an entrepreneur work. So, I mean, you can imagine there's going to be a lot of people that will come, their negativity, whatever, doesn't create success, and then they want to blame the company for it. So you'll find those for sure. But a lot of time it depends on that person that you're talking to. Like, are they open to learning more, or are they just like on attack mode, which is really common in today's world? Dana, do you want to add?
I was just going to say some simple, like logistical things that distinguish us from a quote scheme is that actually doTERRA has, I think it's over 100-page policy manual that we should all always look at some point. But we have a policy manual, and also doTERRA will take back returns. So those are official business practices, right? So there's like real official business practices. Schemes, they will not take back returns. Your money's there, and then that's it. Right. Yes, we also have a product, but they also have that return policy, which I think is a great thing to share with someone who's in that negative. Right. Or maybe they had a bad experience, right? I've had other people come to me who have worked in an MLM, not in the 70s when those real schemes were going on, and just had a company that fell out, right? They invested a lot of money and then the company just didn't succeed. Well, we already know that doTERRA has gone past succeeding and is continuing to grow, including all of the different businesses all over like we're opening in different markets. Right. We just got the update that India will be the next, hopefully in 2021.
Yeah. 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 Exactly, Dana. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Some of those statistics are really important. Yeah. The reason why we're such a solid company in part is the way we're founded. We don't have outside investors. We're in zero debt. That's why they actually share some of our huge profits with us, So yeah, we're very stable. Like this is something unless the world fully comes to an end, which I think we've all contemplated in 2020. But unless it all comes to an end, then doTERRA is going to be something that you're going to be able to pass down to your children, like your account to your sweet little girl. So those are some things. And then the video.
That's amazing, by the way. That was a really good detail to mention.
Yeah.
That you can pass it on to someone. That's really cool.
Yeah, totally. I literally had someone in my upline, I'm not going to name names, sell their account for a couple $100,000. That was the value. That was the value because it's an incredible residual income. That's legitimate residual income. If you do the work effectively. If you don't build doTERRA effectively, then yeah, it's like anything. If you don't build any business effectively, then that's just how it is, right? So those are a couple key points. The key is going to be as you grow in your confidence as well. It's almost like at this point, it's when I almost don't remember if anybody in my last year has even said that to me. Maybe they didn't, because I just hold it in such a confident way, but maybe they didn't. It just does not even stick. I'm like, it's like laughable a little bit to me. It's like, oh no, of course it's not. Like, let me show you.
True. I think once I see that it's actually working for me and things are happening, the doubts will probably melt away.
It builds so much. Yeah, exactly. Getting you'll get a paycheck soon because you enrolled people. So that first paycheck, even if it's just $12, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, this is awesome. So yeah, totally. Cool. All right. And then as you're also building that confidence, you're going to feel more and more confident about the business approach. I will say that the people that grow fastest in this business, if you don't need to grow fast, okay, but if you want to, I would say people that grow fastest, they really share the business from the beginning. I know I did. I shared it because that's also was a big reason and big call for me to work in this business was for the financial freedom. I really needed to get out of waiting tables. Yeah. Some people start this business because they really just feel so passionate about the oils. For me, I started honestly because I really needed a financial avenue. So for me, it was very natural to be like, hey, do you also want a financial avenue? So, but again, as you grow in your confidence and you're getting paychecks, maybe this then will come and feel more at ease.
I just want
my husband's over here. Hey.
I have a little bedhead. I would say the mindset is infinite possibility and zero attachment. Infinite possibility and zero attachment. That is how we need to approach our life in an optimistic, positive way so that we can truly experiment with the journey. That's it. Thanks.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. If any of you guys in the future are like have your husband sort of with you building the business, he's like often over here in the corner and he's like, add this, add that, like backseat driving a little bit. It's cool. All right. Thank you, Maya. It's good. It's good. So the business approach isn't so different. Let's go through this and then we're going to role play for a quick 5 minutes. The business approach is same thing. Hey, do you have a couple minutes to connect? All right, awesome. You're on the phone with them. All right, I have a question for you, but first, how are you? And then again, all right, so I've had a passion for wellness. Same thing. I've been using these doTERRA oils. They've been doing this for me. And then it just is tweaked a little bit at the end. So I've decided to partner with some of the top leaders in the company to begin sharing these oils with my community because people are looking for natural alternatives. And then I also added here, and it's also been very financially successful. The companies, and it's true, the company is ridiculously successful. And also, people that have been very successful are earning amazing income in this. Yeah, you all know people. So right now we are looking for a few key people, and you can say we, because you're part of a team. We're looking for a few key people. You can say I'm looking. You can also say I'm looking for a few key people to partner with that I feel or we feel could do really well with sharing these essential oils. And I thought of you because you are such a, whatever reason you thought of them, they're such a powerful woman. You inspire me so much. I just love you. You already are teaching people your health practice, whatever. You're a yoga teacher. Would you be interested in learning more? That's it. We're not oversharing. We're not talking too much about the details of it. If they ask us questions of like, how does it work? That's on the next call. Okay. So I just really recommend to not go into more on this first call. So if they say yes, they would then say, okay, awesome. And actually, I'd love to connect you with my mentor as well. I'd love to get us on a 3-way call. And then you edify her and your mentor, you really, it would be nice if they're a gold rank or above. So whoever in your upline is gold rank or above, maybe sometimes a silver, but usually we would recommend a gold rank. So get on, say, I think I can set up a 20-30 minute call in the next few days with Dana and myself and you. And also I'm going to send you some samples. So you also, they need the products, right? So we're also want to send them some key samples for their health issues. If they say no, because they're too busy, because they don't, you'll get the excuses like, I'm not a salesperson, or you'll hear all sorts of things. Just so you know, no is not a no forever. All right. I was a no for 3 years. Dana knows. I was a no for a long time. And so things can change. Okay, my friends. So don't like give up. Say all good. And then if it seems like they're open, like they're not like anti or anything, then say, well, since you're such an amazing, influential person, you surround yourself with really like-minded people. I'm wondering if I could tell you the type of person I'm looking for. And if you have anyone that comes to mind, if you'd be up for referring them to me. And I always gift people that offer referrals. And ladies, just keep in mind right now, the amount of economic, unemployment, the amount of all the our industry, like that we're in, the wellness industry. Think about the yoga teachers, which are many of you, the massage therapists, a lot of the even health providers like acupuncturists, like they're not even allowed to really practice fully right now. There's so many people that could be interested in something that fits with their work and is proven to not be touched by, it's online, it's in home, really good. So a couple key things: careful with rambling, being pushy, or really upset if they say no. So that'll be inner work to do, is like, we're gonna have to like work on triggers we had from like our mom, or like that school teacher, so that's some inner work. And this is a great place to work on all that stuff. And then also doing everything over text message rather than actually getting on the call with them, which is always going to be more powerful and intimate. All right. So, and my last little message here: to ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. So this is about like, if you really think about other people and like what they might be struggling with their health or what they might be struggling with their finances, and really think about them more than what will they think about me? And gosh, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it right. Stop thinking about ourselves. It's really selfish, actually. And oh, we just saw the husband hand. I do the husband hand all the time. Yeah, no, we're nice. We're nice wives. Okay. So if we think about other people, that is the way to approach this work. Yeah. All right. So let's see, how many people do we have here? Why don't we have one person share, rather than breaking us out into breakout rooms, since we're such a small group, let's have one of us open up and be willing to do the product approach. Who's open to it? Anyone?
I mean, I'm always happy to practice, but
go for it, Ella. Ella, I kind of want you to do the business approach practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Why don't you do the business approach?
All right. I'm going to have to speak from memory because I don't have the text in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Or you know what? I can share the text.
Or maybe I can pull up it on the screen.
Here you go. I got it for you.
Oh, thank you. You're the best.
I'll role play with you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So I'm calling you.
Ring. Hello.
Hi, Avisa. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you? So good to hear from you.
I'm doing so good. I'm wondering, am I catching you at a good time? Do you have 5 minutes for a chat?
Yeah, no, it's totally cool.
So, you know how I'm so passionate about wellness, and recently I've been falling in love with essential oils. I've been using doTERRA oils. Have you heard of them specifically? doTERRA?
No, I've never heard of them actually. No. I mean, I've heard of essential oils, but a little bit.
Well, doTERRA, I've used random essential oils before, and now I'm using doTERRA essential oils because they're the highest quality essential oils in the market. They're 100% pure, and they're just tremendous. So they've been doing so good for me and my family. They've been bringing so much goodness and have really helped enhance our natural wellness regimen, that I've decided to partner with some of the top leaders in the company to begin sharing these oils with my community, because people are really looking for natural alternatives. And it's also been very financially successful. So right now I'm looking for, if you keep people to partner with that I feel would enhance this business and would be good with sharing essential oils. And I thought of you. Well, I see you as a female leader. I know that you're such a go-getter, And I totally think you have the qualities that could be good in this business. Is this something that you'll be interested in learning more about?
Oh my gosh, totally. I've just this week been thinking about like, what else could I do to earn income?
Yes, I'm so happy to see great minds think alike. So I think the best next thing for us to be is to connect you with my amazing oil mentor, Avesa. she's been very supportive to me, and I think you'll love her. So if you have time this week, I would love for us to set up a 20-30 minute call over the next days or so. Does that sound good? And also, of course, I would love to send you some samples.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. I'm in.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, so tell me, well, and then I would ask her about like any health concerns or anything like that, and I would target her samples to that, and then I would connect with it.
Ella, she knocked it out of the park, didn't she? Really, really good. Really, I can tell that you've been in the mode of making these calls and sharing, and it's like it's in you. It's getting really in you. And the only thing that you've kind of forgot, but I think you would probably do it if you were on a real call, was at the beginning where it says, "I have a specific question for you, but first, how are you?" You know, that would be the only thing. Otherwise, you nailed it.
Yeah, I think on the real call, that first part would probably take up like 20-30
Exactly. Yeah, so exactly. You probably just did that on purpose. So no, you rocked it. You rocked it. Way to go, sister. Who else wants to share? Who wants to do one? One more. Anyone else? Either product approach or business approach. Oksana or Marina, do you guys, either one of you? What about you?
Hi. Yes, I can try to do the business approach.
Yeah. Great.
I almost feel like, together with Oksana, we're actually setting up the ground to start approaching people we actually don't know with the approach. So that's something that I'm not sure who does that, if people do that, and what's their story there, what's their success story, I hope. I don't know how effective that is, if we are reinventing the wheel here or not. And so like I'm learning right now, I'm making notes that apparently there is a 3-way call between Dana or Avesa and that person who'll be interested. Yeah, so that's like, it actually pops new questions for me, like how often does it happen? And this script that I see right now, it's definitely designed for the person who I know already. How are you and all this, and I've been partnered up with the people, but I literally just doing that. I want to start doing that with people like I don't know at all. So we're going to be reaching out to people like on LinkedIn and things like that. So I don't know how that will go. I wonder.
Totally. Great question. Yeah. So I know I've seen this. I think the business approach is an awesome thing to do with people we don't know. We just had someone go silver actually on our team. And how she got into the business was that Natalia actually did like an ad, in a way, like she put an ad out there, or like a little thing of like, I'm interviewing for this position on my team. Are you someone that is da, 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 da? And then this woman, applied for it, and she had some tests. Like we took a couple weeks to like make sure this woman was really committed, and it worked out. Sometimes it does not work out with people, right? So there's a kind of an interview process with people, especially that you don't know. I think the key would be, again, have it be short and sweet at the beginning, right? Like when you're making that initial call, similar to this, I would start with, have you heard of doTERRA essential oils before? They are the I am partnered with some of the top leaders in the company to share these essential oils. Our mission is really to, share the mission. Our mission is to and through that, we build a really beautiful residual income. We're looking right now for a few key people to partner with. Would you be interested in learning more? I would still keep it kind of simple. Just remember, when it's with your cold market, people that are going to, when we buy, all of us as a society, when we buy into something, enroll in something, join something, it's because we know it, we like it, and we trust it. So that's why when your guys are starting with your warm market, people that that are in your community, it can be a much faster process. Oftentimes with the cold market, you're going to need way more follow-up. and to warm it up. We're gonna have to warm them up a lot more. You might need more meetings, you know, and make sure to really connect with them. When you do have that follow-up, really make sure to like heart to heart. Don't just get right into business, you know, to ask them, you know, when you have that first call that you'll have with them in the 3-way, your upline will be asking that person, like, tell me about you, you know, so that you can build that relationship and learn. I don't know if Dana, you want to share anything on that?
Well, it's an interesting thing when you say that part of like, you're going to ask them about them, because oftentimes the person who brings them to that 3-way call wants you to be telling them more. And they're like, why are you asking them all these questions? But I actually want to share, I had brought someone into the business who I didn't know, who checked all the boxes. And one thing she didn't work out. And one thing that I actually never asked her, and we found this out throughout the way, was all the different, because she was like, I have all these other projects. I have all this other work that I do. And it was really hard to find out what they were. Like, she wouldn't really open up about that. And that's why she wasn't successful in doTERRA, because she came to me and then she took on about 4 or 5 other multi-level marketing companies at the same time to try them on. I didn't ask enough about what those other projects were and what those kinds of energy, time, and involvement that it took with her. And those are the kinds of questions that now I'm really well trained to ask. I was beginning my business at the time. I think I was an elite or premier, right? Now I know these questions, which is why Avesa is saying schedule that 3-way call. Because very often when you're bringing someone to that call, you might have an idea about it, but we have kind of gone through a lot to be able to say, okay, these are the good questions to go. Does that help? Does that add to what you were saying, Avesa?
Yeah, no, I think it's good. And also personal experience. Yeah. So yeah, cold market can be great. I say, don't forget about continuing to work with your warm market too, your natural list, but yeah, expand for sure.
Thank you so much. This was very helpful. I actually took a lot of notes.
Good.
Yeah. Do we have time? Should I still do this script?
If you'd like to, and then we'll turn it over to Dana.
I'll do quick. Who's role playing with me?
I can.
Okay. So the phone is ringing.
Bring. Hi.
Ring.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi, Avesa. How are you?
Doing really well. How are you? Good to connect.
Yes, good to connect as well. Thank you for. By the way, yes. Am I catching you at the right time right now?
Yes, now it's good.
Right, wonderful. Can I get like 5 minutes of your time?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful. Well, I have a quick question for you. I've been passionate about wellness lifestyle lately, and I actually got myself involved with beautiful doTERRA essential oils, and I've been using them myself for about half a year at this point, which actually made a big difference in my life, daily life. Things like headaches, for example, I can literally treat them with essential oil of peppermint, or like cramps when you have period, I can use the essential oils to help me to relieve the symptoms. So it really is in my daily lifetime now. So I've decided to partner up with some of the top leaders in the company to begin sharing these oils with my community. And because people are really looking for alternative natural ways to approach their health, it's been very financially successful. So right now, we're actually looking for people to partner up with who feel that they would be a good fit to do this as well. And I thought of you, Avesa, because I just know how open you are, influential you are, just based on what I know about you. Do you think you would be interested in learning more about it?
Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Right. Wow. Wonderful. That's awesome. And I would like to connect with you then and my mentor. And her name is Dana. And I think I can set up 20 to 30-minute call in the next few days.
That sounds great.
As well as sending you some samples so you can actually try the oils yourself.
Good. Sounds great. I'm excited to have some samples. If you have anything for sleep, send them my way.
Perfect. So yeah, I'll do that.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome, Oksana. Yeah, it's getting better and better. Your share every time that you've done it, it's better and better and clearer and flows really well. And I loved your testimonies. The only thing I would say is maybe, I don't know, Elena Brower, when she was on our, I don't know if you remember, she was on our call, right, a couple of weeks ago. She said she doesn't like the word enroll. And instead so at the beginning when you said, I've enrolled in doTERRA, and that might, I don't know, it just might throw maybe some people, it wouldn't throw necessarily me off, but maybe instead of saying I've enrolled in doTERRA, just saying I've been using doTERRA essential oils for, whatever amount of time. That was the only thing I could tweak.
Okay, I'll tweak in that.
Just a little tweak. Yeah. Good job. Okay, everyone. So the homework is just to practice this and to stretch with making these calls. And again, Elena Brower, right? She was just on our call a couple weeks ago, and she shared, if you really, really want to like supercharge, grow your business, two connections a day and 2 follow-ups a day. And Dana's going to talk about the follow-up, 2 new connections that you haven't connected with yet, and 2 follow-ups. And she said, and then if you want to take it even the next level, and then also 2 people that scare you, like those people that intimidate you, like, oh, I don't want to call them, that would, if they joined your business, they would like blow it up. So these are the calls. All right, Dana, take it away.
So following up, it's a key topic. And before I dive into the details of it, and when I say following up, we're going to really talk about the following up of the sampling process, right? So, but what I'm wondering is anybody here have a situation where you're stuck at that point, where you've delivered some samples and now that's it, boom, block. You can't get them back on the phone. They're not really responding. Has this happened to any of you yet? Yeah, I see some yeses. Yeah. Sort of, Ella. No, not really. You're getting them all to talk to you?
They talk, but this, like, for example, one person I'm thinking of specifically, she got the oils. She talks to me because she's my friend, but she still hasn't used them. So I feel like I need to write to her, like, girlfriend, let's like really have a call and let's use them together while you're on the call with me or something. Because
that's exactly what we do. Yes. Especially sometimes our closest friends are like, for some reason, they're like the hardest ones to be like, just use it. I gave it to you. Yeah. Try it. You've been telling me you haven't been sleeping for years. Now I have something. Try it. Sometimes we have to make them try it. It's true.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're going to look at the this little sample chart flow. And one of the things that I want to say when we're first starting our business and we are putting this out there is that it's really good to remember to stay present with that process. So like knowing, okay, I just sent out 5 samples last week, and like having those beings, those human beings that you sampled on some way in present for you. And you're like, oh, they're here on my desk on a piece of paper. These are the people that I've sampled. Sure, you have your list, but just as Avesa was speaking to bringing more presence in with working with the oils, there's also that being present with the people that you're sampling. So we don't just drop off samples and forget about it, or mail samples off and forget about it, but they might forget about it, is the thing. It's our job to hold it, and it's our job to anchor it. They may get it in the mail and they're like, oh, this is so cool, boom, in the pile of all their mail, right? So let me share my screen with this lovely presentation. Thank you, Avesa, for it. So this really, what we're doing when we're sampling is we're building our business, but we're also we're gifting. We're also offering a gift as we walk through. And we're also letting go of the attachment of the results that they're going to enroll with us. And what's really beautiful is that we're actually bringing ourselves, our heart, to someone else's heart through the oils. So to ease another's heartache is to forget one's own. So I find personally, like, even if I'm having a really hard day, to actually make those 2 connections or those 2 follow-ups and offer these gifts of something that I know will make a good impact in their life, in their day, is something that lifts me up. right? So it's this, the oils are like that. We offer putting oils on someone's hands, we receive the benefits. There's just this very beautiful reciprocal energy to them. I know we've been here a while, so I'm not going to stay too long in my talking and get to the heart of it. So this is a sample flowchart. If you don't have this sample flowchart yourself, you can grab it from the Daily Mentor calls, or you can ask Avesa or me, and we will get it to you. But one thing, I'm going to just take a step back. So Avesa talked about making that list that you have of the people that you're going to be calling. When you do that, we're going to, right? So hopefully you have about 100 names on that list, but maybe you only came up with 50 because it's like, we get blocked to think who we know. So look at this effective versus not effective mentality. And this has to do with sampling. I think particularly right now, it's really easy to think, oh, I don't need to give anyone these oils. I'm just going to get them enrolled. It's really ineffective that way. It does not move as quickly. You move quickly in the beginning, and then you kind of lose them when you move with that attitude. At least that's been my experience. So when we're effective, we're contacting 50 people. We are sampling and inviting them. So we have 25 people that we've gotten to invite. From that 25, maybe 20 will come to the class, and then we will have about 15 to 20 enroll, and 5 to 10 might be interested actually in the business and the LRP. So you can see with that sampling process, when we're working effectively, we are actually growing our business, where you can understand our part 3, which is in 2 weeks, where we talk about the level of elite. So just put that down, write that down. No, I want to understand elite, and you're going to get there. That's like Avesa said, that's a faster pace. You can do it. It's been done a lot. And that's really effective. Ineffective is that we spend a lot of time calling people, inviting them to a class, maybe say tomorrow, like last minute, or next week. We don't have enough time to invite with the samples or any follow-up on the samples to see if they've had a good experience on the samples. We may have a much lower attendance to that class. A lot of the people in that class have not experienced the oils. So then we're also going to get less participation in the class, and we're going to have a much lower enrollment from the same amount of people. 1 to 3 will enroll in that way. So let's look at this chart a little deeper in a minute. We're going to look at that further. So when we deliver the samples, this is something that we're going to most likely be mailing, okay? So when you're making your sample vials, I recommend 10 to 15 drops. You see these little tiny bottles. It's not for them to have the full dropper, because we're going to have them order their oils. So, you don't need to fill it all the way up. And when we're making them, we're going to deliver them, and we're going to ask them, when we've put them in the mail, we're going to ask them to call us when they get them. So it's going to be a little note in there. You see that little note? It's going to say, hi, Susie, when you get your oils, I'm so excited. This is how you use them, but call me. I want to make sure that you can use them. I like to say safely and effectively. I like to say safely. This is for 2 reasons. One, it's protecting me so that they don't put it in their eye and they say, oh, this oil is terrible. And number 2, so that they call me. So they know that I'm going to help them do it safely. So then we're going to talk about what they are, how to use them. So we're going to suggest to them, place a few drops of that breathe in your palm and breathe it in, or that deep blue on your back if there's pain there, and use it. We're going to let them know that everyone's chemistry is unique. So if this sample doesn't work, to try another sample. And if that one doesn't work, try another one. And then we're going to let them know, it says here, I'll call you in 2 days, but if they're going by the mail, we're going to let them know to call us. Okay, so that's the difference in this switch here versus like me yesterday, I drove around town here in Bend and actually dropped them off in person. So in person, I would say, I'm going to call you in 2 days and make sure you use them. In the mail, we're going to have them call us. Is that clear? Does that make sense, the differentiation? And they're not going to call us, so we're going to call them, is the truth. We're going to write it down they should get these oils by next Tuesday. I'm going to get in touch with them and see, did they receive the oils? Any questions on that part? You guys look good. Okay, so here we're at the place where we ask them, have you had the opportunity to try your sample yet? We have these two categories. Yes, which is more rare, so I'm going to go through that more quickly. But sometimes you do. I mean, I actually dropped off some oils for someone in the middle of a, I would say, a near sinus infection, and I heard back from her, right? So when something works immediately, you hear back from them. She's like, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Thank you so much for that. And she came to my class this morning, right? So how was your experience? And they will tell you it was good, or I didn't feel anything, or I didn't open it yet, right? So if it's awesome, we're going to invite them to a class. How was your experience? Not awesome? No worries, let's try another sample. Now in that not awesome, we're going to do dynamic listening. And I want to just to share a few things that we're not going to say. Not going to say. I'm going to just preface it with we're not going to say. We're never going to tell someone, you know, I've never heard that before. No one's ever had that reaction before. We don't want someone to feel badly about how their body is interacting with the chemistry of the oil. So we're going to remind them, oh gosh, yes, everyone's body is very different. We all have different reactions. So we can try something else for you, right? So we always want to make sure that we have them a big opportunity to share with us what happened. Then we get to repeat back, oh, okay, so I hear when you put that oil on your back, it actually didn't feel good for you. Is that right? And they'll confirm for you what happened, and then you can redirect them. That's in that dynamic listening process. Avesa, did you want to say something? I see you on the edge of your seat. No, you're good? Okay. So that dynamic listening, we want to make sure that they have the space to tell you what happened. Now, the other thing that can happen is that they're going to say, no, I haven't tried it. And so we'll say, no problem. Here's what we'll do. I'll call you in the morning, and you'll remind them how to do it again. You're going to take that drop of breathe and breathe it in if that's the instruction, or if you told them to do a steam, then okay, you're going to get up, you're going to hang up the phone with me, go boil some water and go do a steam right now. Then let me know how it goes and I'll call you in the morning. When you call them in the morning and you ask them, have you had the opportunity to try the sample yet? And they say no, then you're going to say, okay, let's do it together, right? So that's when you're in the let's do this together moment, like that Ella had mentioned. Go grab and you just talk them through it on the phone. But, very often you're not going to get them on the phone so easily. I really encourage voice memo at this stage. When if you cannot get them on the phone, if you've called, you've texted, I really, really encourage using your voice, whether it's on Facebook Messenger, but hopefully you have their phone number by now while you've been in conversation with them about the sample. So does anyone want to walk through this little piece here and tell me where you get stuck, where there might be a sticking point or where it doesn't actually fall into the categories? Yeah, go ahead, Marina.
Dana, you said, so if it's a no, I call them the next day, or I should go straight into the voice memo, or I go into voice memo after they didn't pick up the phone.
So they say that if in the text they told you they didn't get to use it?
No, let's say I said, okay, I'm going to call you tomorrow morning. And then I'm calling tomorrow morning and they again didn't pick up. So then I send the voice memo, or I go straight into the voice memo without even calling them.
No, you call them. Give them a chance to pick up. If they don't pick up, you can either leave them a voice mail, but it seems like people listen to their voicemails less. And you could leave a voice memo. You could just hang up and say, I just wanted to catch you and see if you had a chance to use that oil. I'm absolutely here to help you. Let me know how it's going. Something like that. Something really basic, something really simple so that they know that you're there. The thing is that we never want to also make them feel badly that they're ignoring us because they're busy, right? So we just make ourselves available, and then you feel into it. Okay, I haven't heard from them in a little while. And then I like to bring back the reason why they said they wanted the oil in the first place. Okay, so Avesa, I know you've been really struggling with headaches. Have you had a chance to try that oil yet? You know, so just to bring it back to them and what's happening for them, rather than, did you try the sample that I gave you that I really want you to try? Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else have sticking points? Okay, so we're at the awesome point now. So they're like, I love the oil. It was amazing. Oils, this, tell me more. I've used oils before and they haven't really worked. Or so then you can say, this is where you invite them to your class. So I know that you are still having your Friday evening classes as a team. Yeah. And we have our Saturday morning classes. So you will let them know, if you think this is awesome, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many amazing things to support with any health need. I have a class on this day or on this day. You would love it. It's a 40-minute class on Zoom with my mentor. Which date works best for you? Great, I'll send you the Zoom info and a reminder 2 days before. Any questions on that and the inviting? And it's really, make sure that you can text them ahead of time and say, can't wait to share this class with you. Here's our Zoom info. And this is a really important piece. Have you ever used Zoom before? Now that we're in this Zoom land, most people by this moment kind of have, but there's still some that haven't. And so you might want to just talk them through it, make sure that they know how to get on there so that they're not feeling stressed when the class comes around. And then right before the class, you can text them 2 hours before, looking forward to seeing you. We have some fun surprises. For Corazon, we do our class, our intro class at 9 a.m. on Saturday. So I don't have people texting them at 7 a.m. I have them texting them about 10 minutes before. Can't wait to see you in the class in 10 minutes. Go grab your cup of tea, right? So we work with the logistics of where we're at. And together we plant seeds and harvest and grow together. So as we're bringing in new human beings in and having them come through the education, they also have the opportunity after that 101 class to have the first taste of what it means to run a doTERRA business. So that class, getting them to that class and having a successful entry point into that first class is really such a big key of creating the community. You know, so many of us are at home and really lacking a lot of community experience right now. So it's another invitation point for you to come meet our community, come to our class, and we can build something really special together. Yeah. And that is it for.
Thank you, Dana.
Following up.
You're much more concise than I was.
Well, it's a shorter part, so.
Oh, good. Yeah,
and we could talk more about it, but I think that I would like to not just jump off and just talk with you that are still here, because we have that sample structure, that diagram, and everyone should look at it and really look at the specifics and the details in there. It's helpful. And then things go off that diagram. So that's why I thought maybe because there's new people here, we could just chat a little bit before we go about maybe a personal experience right now. Hey, I sent this one a sample and I haven't heard with them. We can dissect it together before we go.
Yeah.
Anyone have one?
I have a realization that I've been reflecting on as we speak. Like this past week, we did a couple of classes with Avesa, and I realized that I was sending out a lot of samples leading up to my class. And maybe more than like I can do a thorough follow-up, given the time that I have for my doTERRA business at this moment. Like even with like Elena's recommendation, like 2 reaching out a day, like 2 follow-up, and realizing like, oh man, like I don't have enough time to do that thorough follow-up with all the people that I sent, like in a timely manner. Like I have time today and I'll be like following up a lot, but that's just something that I was reflecting on. As fast as I want to move through in reaching out to people and sending out samples, I just have to be mindful of how much time I can honestly dedicate to them as a follow-up.
Yeah.
Because then I was starting to feel a bit
overwhelmed. I'm like, I'm not doing this right. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not following up with them. I feel like I'm failing, you know?
Yeah. So let go of that. The whole
Yeah.
thing that we love that we're like, anything we can, like, can I feel guilt about something? Like, we love guilt as humans. So let go of that. And I think it's also learning like we're like integrating a whole new rhythm where a follow-up is literally like 2 seconds of just a quick voice. I'm like, hey, just wanted to check in. How's it going with that oil sample? Done. You just did an awesome follow-up. You know what I mean? It's while you're pumping gas at the gas station.
That's what I was going to say. Like when I first started this business, like I didn't have desk hours and working hours. It sounds lovely.
No.
Now I have it, but I didn't have that. I had a full-time acupuncture and massage practice in Los Angeles, running around town. So literally most of my work was done pumping gas or pulling over the side of the road and signing someone up. And do I recommend doing it that way? Maybe, because it was kind of exciting to build that momentum, so it's up to you. Because when you build that way, when you're putting it that much energy out, you do build momentum. So I wouldn't hold yourself back trying to do it perfectly, but find that balance. It's just my suggestion.
Yeah.
Thank
Small. And they're really small, little, like literally 5 minutes while you're in.
Right. Yeah, maybe I'm overthinking the amount, like the effort as well. Like maybe I'm putting too much.
It doesn't need to be half an hour conversations, or we give a half an hour to someone, when they may be, we have someone else joining. When maybe we're doing a consult, but yeah, for the check-ins with them, like, how's it going with yours? Very quick, very, very, very quick, sprinkled.
Is that maybe a sketchy little entrance point there? I've heard about them on Zoom.
I don't know, but I actually do have to go in 4 minutes anyway.
Yeah, so it's okay.
Yeah.
Stranger.
Yeah, you're right. So we'll continue to connect, my friends, about, hi, Jill. That's not sketchy.
Oh, good.
And also, like Dana said, there's a lot of people who it'll be 6 months of follow-ups, like, and not like every week you're going to necessarily follow up with them, but it'll just all of a sudden one day when they need it, they're going to get those oils from you. So just to know that everybody's on their own timeline a little bit too.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're doing great, Ella. You're doing so great.
Thank you both.
Quick little check-ins. All right, friends. Well, let's leave it here. And divine timing. I love that, Oksana. And thank you so much, Dana. And you guys are doing wonderful. It's not easy to start this work, right? It's new. You're learning a lot about oils and plants and how to be a businesswoman. It's a lot. So you just take it one step at a time. And remember, most of the women that are doing this business, they have like 5 kids. So everybody feels like they're dropping balls. Don't feel like you need to be at all perfect. That's the beauty of this, is that we can just like leave it in when we can.
That makes me feel better. Thank you.
Yes.
Lots and lots of love to you guys. Thank you for showing up to your work and to this path. And together we will continue. Thanks, Dana.
Have a beautiful day.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.